Hello guys, Swifty here, and today we'll be hitting the nail on the head when it comes to Whisper versus 1000 Voices. This video is really information heavy and has a lot, and I do mean a lot, of numbers in it. If anything I did confused you, please tell me in the comments and I'll try to clarify. Before we begin this video, I also wanted to remind you Willis is holding a giveaway for 3 copies of Destiny 2 Forsaken. All you have to do to enter is like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below telling us what your favorite gun between Whisper and 1000 Voices is, and enter through the link at the top of the video description. If you just want the short of it, Whisper destroys 1000 Voices, but let's prove it. Before we start throwing numbers on the screen, we have to cover a few things first. All tests were done at 598 late level, with both Whisper and 1000 Voices also being 598. The encounter used was Kali, the Corrupted, who sits at a 550 recommended power. If late level scales to activity level in Forsaken the same way it did during Curse of Osiris, then so long as you're 20 light or higher than an activity, the game will treat you as if you were exactly 20 light level higher than said activity. Basically, the game says, hold up, you're too strong, and forcibly tones you down to the point where the activity is still a challenge. This is why you're so much weaker in a patrol than you are in a raid. I also wanted to give a massive shout out to my two buddies 51 and Nacho Turtle who helped me do these tests. If you want to help me out with testing in the future, be sure to join Willis's Discord server. The link for that is in the description. With all of that being said, let's start crunching some numbers. To begin with, we'll do Whisper of the Worm without whispered breathing. I wanted to be considerate for those of you who don't have the catalyst yet. The first step I took was to take Whisper and shoot Kali one time in the head with it to get a damage number. Whisper fires one shot roughly every second, and you have 25 seconds maximum to damage Kali before you have to take cover in a door. One Whisper shot yielded 62,541 damage, and so I took that number, which can be dealt as damage roughly every second, and multiplied it by the 25 seconds we had to do said damage, to give us the highest potential damage a Whisper without any damage buffs and without Whisper breathing could do per door damage phase at 1,563,525. Following me so far? Now that we know how much damage we can potentially do, we need to find out how much damage we can realistically do. The average player won't start shooting the second he or she can and wind up hitting every headshot without missing a beat. To solve this issue, I went in and did 3 one-door damage cycles, which is what you're seeing playing in the background now. On those damage cycles, I achieved 960,005 damage, 1,337,944 damage, and 893,470 damage respectively. I took those numbers and added them up, then divided them by 3 to get the average of those runs, which came out to be 1,063,807. Next, we'll cover Whisper of the Worm with whispered breathing. Once again, I took a single shot to Kali's head, which came out to be 101,043. I then multiplied this damage once again by 25 to give us the highest potential damage a Whisper with whispered breathing without any other buffs can do per door damage phase at 2,525,064. Interesting tidbit here, if we compare Whisper with whispered breathing to Whisper without whispered breathing, you'll see that the perk comes out to be a 61.5% damage buff. Getting back on track, now that we know how much damage we can potentially do, we yet again need to find out how much damage we can realistically do. To do this, I went in and did 3 one-door damage cycles, which is what you're seeing playing in the background now. On these runs, I achieved 1,717,731 damage, 1,938,197 damage, and 1,111,473 damage, respectively. I then added all 3 of them together and divided them by 3 to get our penultimate average number of 1,589,134 damage. Before we get into the damage calculation for 1000 Voices, I wanted to show you something. I believe the bug tying 1000 Voices damage to frame rate is patched. In this clip, the recording is done at 60 frames to make it look like it wasn't done on an N64, but I have my in-game frames capped at 30. When I shoot Kali with a full burst and fast forward for the damage numbers, it gives us 77,797. Keep this number in mind. Next, we'll swap to 60 frames in-game, fast forward once again, and as you can see, we get the same damage as before at 77,797. Now we'll try 90 frames, same damage. Finally, I went to uncapped frames, and what do you know, same damage. These clips were all taken between 3 and 4 PM Eastern Standard Time on October 13th, 2018, and at the time of editing this, I haven't heard anything about this bug being patched. It's possible that my PC bugged, or that they stealth patched it, but either way, it's a handy bit of information to know for this upcoming test. Now that we know the consistent single shot damage of 1000 voices is 77,797, multiplying that by 7 for the total amount of unbuffed shots it can carry gives us a grand total of 544,579 potential damage. It turns out that with its roughly 3-second shot rate, 1000 voices can unload all of its 7 bullets in one door phase, so instead of multiplying the rate of fire by the time available, we could just multiply the amount of shots by how much damage they individually deal. Knowing what the highest possible unbuffed damage we can do with 1000 voices is, let's do a couple extra runs and determine a good average for how much damage we can realistically do per damage cycle. Spoiler warning, this number is low. Matter of fact, it's so low that I only did one test, because I realized how badly Whisper blows 1000 voices out by. We came out with an average number of 385,313, which in comparison to Whisper is absolute garbage. So what's the takeaway here? Whisper wins by a landslide, and its infinite ammo just makes it better and better damage potential wise the more health the target has. That being said, 1000 voices still does more damage per shot, and has far better ad clear potential with its line of explosives than Whisper could ever dream of having. End of the day, it all comes down to what you're doing, but if it's boss damage you need, the Whisper's got your back. My name's Swifty, thank you for watching.